Good stuff though. I just had my Taco Bell. Just
Dude,
the
the
same.
prices have gone up like crazy. It was like $70 for like the three of us.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm glad Mallory doesn't eat much. Like that helps. And
well, Emily gets a kid's meal. She gets a kid's.
Your food.
Emily's meal is like $5.
My meal, like my adult meal, and it's big, is $9.99.
See, I did like the burrito plate, which it was I should have shared the burrito plate because I forget like how huge their burritos are. So like 2 burritos and a side of rice. It was like $18.
Dude, okay, so your prices are crazy because I get a burrito. I get you get rice, beans, a burrito, an enchilada, and a tamale for $9.99.
Yeah, it was $18 for my 2 burritos and my double rice. But then we always get like the cheese dip. The cheese dip has gone up like crazy price now too.
Guac. Yeah.
So the cheese dip is awesome. It's like this. I can't even explain it. It's like the sour cream, like cream cheese. Like I don't know. It's like all these like different cheeses like in the one thing. Like, it is so awesome.
Dude. Yeah.
Then I like to mix the salsa with it. Like I make like my own like cheese dip.
Oh,
like
I don't like
my Scotty G
salsa with this cheese. It looks weird. Dude,
no, I do it, man.
This teacher we used to teach with did that. I'd be like,
now this isn't like a queso cheese. This is like a weirdly.
This was queso. This is like the white cheese. Like you dip the like red sauce in there and it turn all pink. And I'd be like,
yeah, this isn't queso. This is like a that's what I'm saying. It's like unique. I've only seen it like at like a place like this. I've never seen it anywhere else.
Okay.
The cheese dip. I'll take a photo of it. I'll show you what the cheese dip.
Pour me a little over here.
You probably still wouldn't like it mixed. Like Emily hates it when we mix it. So
yeah. Dude, I used to hate guacamole till like a couple years ago. Now I can't get enough of it.
You're the guy who turned on to it at my grill.
Yeah, I'd never.
It was like a marathon weekend, like years ago.
I'd never had it either. Pam liked it, and I was like, actually, it was when I really started dieting. She's like, it's not real bad. She's like, you can have this, and it's kind of, it's not like horrible. It's better than queso, she said. And I was like, well, I can't hardly eat anything, so I'll try it. And I was like, oh, but I probably eat a pound of it, so it doesn't matter. So good though. Oh, it's so good. Hey everybody, happy Sunday night. Man, marathon is 4 weeks from today. 4 weeks from today we'll be done.
Not ready, man. I'm not ready. No, it's 5 weeks.
No, it's 4. Somebody tweeted today, isn't it?
No, it's 5. 4 weeks from today. 1, 2.
Somebody said a month. Okay, maybe it's because somebody said a month.
Yeah, 4 weeks from today is New Year's Day.
Okay, well, good. I got plenty of time to train, man. Oh,
you got 5 weeks.
I'm gonna have a candy bar. We're good.
So I told myself, because I just did this math. That's how I knew that was wrong. It's like, all right, next week I'll do a 5 miler, then I'll do a 10 miler, and then I'll do a 15 miler, and then I'll be good. I'll just do a 5 miler next weekend, a 10 the next, a 15 over like Christmas weekend, and then I should be good. I hope.
I'm just gonna get to like 13 and just hope. That's what I'm doing this year.
Yeah, I just want to get a half marathon under my belt.
My problem is if I go longer, man, I aggravate my knee. I know my knee is going to be aggravated for the full marathon, so why aggravate it before? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hurt it already.
Yeah, I'm in rough shape, man.
It's going to be ugly. I think a lot of people, it's going to be ugly this year.
I'm going to have a healthy 2023. I'm going to have a healthy 2023. I'm going to start it off by doing dopey.
We need to all pray that it is not hot on that Sunday because there's going to be a lot of us that are going to be in pain on the backside of that race.
Yeah.
Oh,
we should talk about the mini golf. I gotta just share. Okay. I should post something tonight about it because the reservation times are way earlier than what we planned. Like they could only start us at like 10:30, which is fine with me personally. Like let's do it early.
Is it a shotgun start? Do I need to bring a shotgun?
Nope.
That's awesome though. All right, let's start. We gotta start. Oh my god. See, Wade's got us smoked out. He's already got it.
Dude, look at him.
I know, look at him.
And everyone doing their like mock dopies. Like I used to do that. Like
I did too.
Kudos if you still do that. But after my first 2 years, like I was done doing those mock dopies.
Yeah, like, my mock dopey is gonna be on January 7th, 8th, whatever the dates are.
Yeah. That'll be my mock dopey. Starting January 5th, I'll start my mock dopey. And maybe who knows? Maybe I'll get a medal for it too.
Yeah, I don't want to do it more than once. It hurts too bad.
No, it does. Like, I always talk about the mental toughness. that's what I put all my marbles on that one.
Dude, you made it to doing one with me where I was telling you, dude, your leg doesn't hurt. And you had a broken leg. Where
I did that then.
Just rub biofreeze on it. You'll be good. Yeah. That was my famous line.
I got it done.
10 miles.
That's the thing. Knock on wood, man. Like I'm outside of my first 2 or 3, like I've been in awful shape and I still get it done. So
oh my god,
just
that
hope.
was so funny. Just another medical tent. Go get biofreeze.
I recommend a strong playlist that motivates you.
If you're running with a friend, just yell, there's another medical tent. Get biofreeze. That's what we did. And Paige was gonna quit. I'm like, you quit. You're not going home.
That was bad.
Oh my god, it's a miracle we made it. Good job, Brooke. Okay, we gotta do a show. Yeah, 10 miles is 10 miles, man. That's
Spartans just tips.
2,000.
Go green.
Who are they playing?
Northwestern. Shout out to the Huskers though, beating number 7 Creighton.
Nice.
I know Wade's got to be happy about that.
Mizzou hasn't played anybody yet. They're 9-0, but we're playing everybody this week. We played Southeast today.
Well, you're getting those wins for the resume, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do when you've been bad as long as we have. Hey, but Mizzou football though, we got the Gasparilla Bowl, which isn't a great bowl, but it's at least in Tampa and not in Memphis.
Yeah,
so how about that?
No bowl for Michigan State.
I know. All right, let's see.
But we got 2 Big Ten teams. But at least 2 favorite Big Ten teams.
2 Big Ten teams will enter. None will exit.
I'll be all right if Ohio State exits.
Yeah, they're going
to don't tell Georgia that though. They'll come chasing me down.
I'm not the biggest Georgia fan, but Georgia's going to kill Ohio State. Anyway, okay. Here we go. Okay, hang on. Where's the button? There. Wait, I forgot to check the levels. We get in here, we start talking. I forget to do my job. There's the levels. Okay, here we go. Man, I ate my Taco Bell way too fast. My stomach is hurting.
Dude, man. I ate like 6 hours ago and I'm still hurting.
Here we go. This is gonna be a rough hour. Here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, December 4th, 2022. We hope you are having a great weekend. For everybody that is tuned in live here on Facebook or YouTube, we're so glad to have you here as we have moved into December for these live call-in shows. We're going to be taking your calls here in just a couple of minutes at 407-413-9395. Again, 407-413-WDW5. If you're old school and have the letters on your phone, I paid extra for that, so you can use it if you want. But it's 9395 on the back end. But we're going to have a good time talking Disney. Last week, we flew solo. First time with the live show from the new studios. But tonight, we're doing it how we're supposed to because it's you, me, and Scotty G. He is back from an epic trip to Walt Disney World for Thanksgiving. We can talk about that tonight or anything that's on your mind. So joining us tonight, of course, up in the mitten where his Spartans are on the hardwood, Scotty G. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Mike. Happy to be here. It's December. We've cranked out 11 months of you, me, and Scotty G this year. Let's go for one more month and wrap up 2022 with a bang.
That's right. And we are 1 month away from Marathon Weekend 2023. And this is the part where everybody says either I'm going to start training for Marathon Weekend or you know what? It's just too late and it's going to be ugly and we're going to see what happens. So we'll see.
Yep. I'm on the I'm on the cheeseburger plan, like I just eat cheeseburgers and hope for the best.
Yeah, at this point, training consists of refining ADRs and theme park reservations rather than, ordering some nice sneakers because, you might not be running 9-minute miles. You might be just chasing the balloon ladies. But hey, you know what? The medal is the exact same, whether you win the race or you just cross the line with the balloon ladies smiling and you'll get more pictures.
That's my plan.
You get a better value if you're out there longer, actually.
So that's what I did last year. Like I knew I was going to be a little bit ahead of the balloon ladies. So I made a playlist, Mike, that had these 17-minute intervals. So it'd be like 60s music for 17 minutes. And then I know like, okay, I got to get done with this mile before this playlist ends. And then it would move on to like the 80s. Like I switched the decade every mile. And it made it like a game to play almost. All right. I know I can finish this mile before this song. So that's how I like entertained myself and boom, got it done. And I plan to do the same thing for this year.
That's a great idea, though, because it gives you some musical cues as to staying on pace. I like that. I'm not disciplined enough to build something like that ahead of time. That's a good idea, though.
Yeah, that was my training. That's what I trained for. Like, all right, I got to find these blocks of songs that are like 16 to 17 minutes. And yeah, so And that's what I plan on doing again this year.
That's not bad. Also, I got to send a shout out to Lisa, who is down in Mobile, Alabama. She is tuned in live here on Facebook, it looks like, here tonight as we record live. I just wanted to look right over the mic flag here and see that she was very kind to send some Roll Tide ornaments that are now on a Christmas tree here in the studio. So thanks, and Roll Tide. And I just got to say, because we got to talk a little football. I know everybody hates this. Big Ten got 2 teams in. I know, right? Alabama didn't get in this year. Every once in a while, you got to leave Alabama out just to keep everybody happy. But they had 2 losses by 4 points. I'm not even gonna get into it. Just whatever.
Hey, they lost 2 games, and then
they did lose 2 games.
They almost lost to a backup quarterback in Texas. You know, I mean, I can go on about
Alabama. But it was at Texas. Anyway, I'm just gonna say 2 Big Ten teams are in the college football playoff. But we'll see who's standing at the end, what conference. I'm just saying. So it just means more. That's all I got to say. So anyway, we'll go.
Yeah, we'll see how the SEC does in hoops this year too. Okay, yeah. I mean, I know Mizzou's 9-0, but
9-0, baby. And our women's team's 9-0. I mean, we're 18-0 in basketball at Mizzou right now. I mean, of course, we are playing schools that only have like 3 people on the roster at this point. But I mean, it's smart, right? We'll see. Shout out by real quick too to the UIC Flames women's basketball team up in Chicago. Page's squad won 3 games all of last season, off to an 8-1 start. Took out the Cincinnati Bearcats on their home court this afternoon. Big win for them. So they are on fire.
Mike, if we're talking about wins and championships, you got to give a shout out to the Howell Vikings going 14-0, running the table. I know you got to be proud of your town.
Very proud of that too. Yes, I tweeted my girls had a good weekend. With Paige getting the big win today, and then our Howell Vikings, Mallory got to cheer at Mizzou, and yes, our Howell Vikings, perfect season, 14-0, first time our high school's ever won state championship. Average margin of victory on the season, 34 points. So it was never really close for 14 games. And the coolest thing was, though, our community, over 10,000 fans at Mizzou, and we don't have we're not like Chicago. I mean, we have a nice little community where we live, but Mizzou's about 2 hours away. So we had about 10,000 fans make their way down I-70 to cheer on our Vikings. So yeah, it was very cool. And tonight we're going to have a special, if you're in St. Louis, on Channel 5 about our Vikings. So check it out. Sports Final, Channel 5. Anyway,
Vikings win the state championship. My high school that I graduated from has changed their mascot 3 times in the last 2 weeks. I think you're having a better time of it.
Skull or what? Somebody told me that's what the Vikings say. I don't even know, but we didn't say that. We just yell HOWELL. Anyway, so let's talk Disney. We got a date for the official closing of Splash Mountain for the Tiana upgrade and overlay and change of theme there. And I'm glad because, for all of us runners, and I see there's a lot of us in the chat tonight. I see a lot of familiar faces that will be running down for marathon weekend, having a good time, or at least commiserating together. We all get one last ride on Splash Mountain because it closes late January for the extensive refurbishment. So, I mean, sooner than I thought. I would have guessed they would give people at least like through the spring or the summer. But man, this is, you pretty much probably have your trip booked by now if you're going to get to ride it one more time.
I mean, that timing kind of makes sense to me because it usually goes down for a refurbishment over like January and February. Like I say, I'm surprised, though, it's not going to be open. Well, actually, that will be for Martin Luther King weekend. Yeah, so that kind of makes sense to me, Mike, because it goes down usually in January. It's not a shocker to anyone that listens to the show that that's my favorite attraction at all Walt Disney World. And I will say I'm super pumped about it. Yes, like I'm going to miss like the original Splash Mountain, but I love Princess and the Frog. I think that attraction is well overdue for a remake of some sort. And I'm very excited about it. Can't wait to go down the bayou with Tiana, like fix the soundtrack up because the Princess and the Frog is an outstanding music soundtrack. So super excited. And I'll definitely make sure I get one more shot on the version that is currently there at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that I'll be honest, I've seen most of Princess and the Frog. I just don't watch movies, but I've seen most of the scenes, here and there and everywhere. But the strength of that movie, in my opinion, from what I have seen, is the music, because I've seen the parts of the, obviously on Disney Cruise Line, they use, Almost There and, other songs from that movie in their productions. And I mean,
whenever I hear Almost There, I always think of Match Your Mate.
Oh my God.
like I can't wait. I can't wait till we cruise in July because I'm telling you, there's going to be an almost there moment for Match Your Mate, and it's just a riot. I love it.
Yes, that is. Yeah, for everybody cruising in July, be ready because Match Your Mate is probably the best 90 minutes of the cruise. Especially if anybody that we know gets on stage, and somebody always does, because by that point the cruise director staff knows what's going on with our group. So yeah, no, but I hope they do incorporate a ton of the music into the attraction. It's a long enough attraction that I think they have the opportunity to do that. I just hope that they do kind of keep a few of those animatronics from the classic attraction kind of hidden in the background, right?
Because the frog, there's a frog in the current version. I feel like that's going to stick around in some way, because Walt Disney World and Disney all together is great about giving a nod to the previous attraction. Like you see that in Winnie the Pooh, you see with the Deed with Mr. Toad, like you even see that in Guardians. Like I love it when they talk about the Big Bang in Guardians. I always think of Ellen's Energy Adventure every time I hear that. So I'm sure there'll be a nod to Splash Mountain, the original version, which will be awesome.
I'm seeing in the chat, Williams here, go Beavs up at Oregon State. I think they're playing in the Vegas Bowl. I'm trying to keep track of where all of our listeners are going to end up for their bowl games. I think they're against Florida in Vegas. But they're heading down for a Martin Luther King weekend trip. They're going to, a little Festival of the Arts, which is an awesome festival, a little Splash Mountain goodbye trip. Hey, that's a great combo, because Festival of the Arts, get down there, do a weekend there, ride Splash Mountain 3 times. And that, hey, that's a great excuse to get out there in January.
Yeah. I understand why they don't have it going on for Marathon, because it's already a busy week, but like, dang, I always wish that was going on during Marathon or Princess Weekend. It gets me to try to book another trip. But Festival of Arts, tie that in with get your last rides on Splash, Festival of Arts. That sounds like an awesome trip.
And shout out to Maggie, who is listening up in the mid. And actually, she's not even listening because she's at work. She's got us tuned in with no sounds. That's probably the best way to listen to our show, or actually just watch.
Yeah, because we are too handsome.
Here. Yes,
it's because we're two handsome fellas, Mike. That's why.
Exactly right. She got a space 220. So I'm gonna give her the touchdown sign. She got a space 220 ADR. So shout out. She can't hear us, so I'm giving her the touchdown sign. Nicely done there. I don't know what we're doing here. So anyway, you want to talk Disney, 407-413-9395. Give us a call. And we want to talk to you. That's what makes this show fun. But of course, Scott just got back from Walt Disney World. Now we're going to do a full-on Monday trip report, just like we do with all of our other guests, because we got to get ahead for Marathon weekend, because I will be out of the office for that. As I'm down there, because I will be there for a Monday. I'm staying over the Sunday after the Monday after the marathon. But give us a couple highlights. Like, you stayed Contemporary Tower Theme Park View. Everybody dreams of that. So just, give us, what was it like?
I think I may have even said this because I was at the Christmas party last Sunday, and I actually got this phone call from a podcast, and we went live on Big Thunder Mountain. So I can't exactly remember all that I said on the podcast last week, but one of the things I'll take away from this, and I told you, Mike, like, we love the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and I was worried, like, oh, well, how are we going to watch it? Are we going to watch it from the Magic Kingdom on my phone? Like, that seems kind of lame. But you know what we did? We had breakfast in the room. Like, I went down to the Contempo Cafe, did a mobile order, brought it back up, and we just watched the parade as we're getting ready for the day in the room, looking. And I would go out on the balcony and look down on the Magic Kingdom, like during the commercial breaks and such, like that. And I could hear the train going around. I could see all the boats, like all the logistics. That was like a moment I'll never forget. It's just like, with my family, still doing our normal Thanksgiving tradition, but from the Contemporary looking down on the Magic Kingdom. It was such a cool experience.
And it was. I saw your pictures, and you actually were texting me too about this whole experience. I was excited because and the thing was, Marching Mizzou was in the parade. They were leading off the parade. Everybody's texting me and sending me messages on social media. I didn't know the parade's tape delayed in the Central Time Zone. So it's like, I'm watching Today's Show. Like, it's not even on here. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm watching they're making a breakfast or something on the Today Show. I'm like, the parade hadn't even started. Like, you guys, fake news. Like,
I know, because I'm sending you video. Like, you're like, well, shoot, I've already seen it now.
Like, you're full of stuff because they're not even going. Anyway, we have our friend from Nebraska joining us, who was actually in this text thread with us. Wade, happy Sunday night. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for being patient. Scotty was telling us about his New Year or his Thanksgiving tradition. What's going on?
That's okay. I'm just finishing my run, so I'm just on a nice little walk around the block as I kind of cool down, and it was kind of like listening. It's like I was sitting in the corner of the room listening to you guys chat.
So
how's it going, guys?
Yeah, you're doing great, and you're doing the old dopey mock-up like Scott and I are not right now.
Well, it's like my mini. You know, I did a 5K, 10K, 15K, which is like what 9.3, and then today I did a half marathon. So I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. You know, I feel good. 4 days in a row. I'm a little sore right now. I don't normally run 4 days in a row, but yeah, I feel pretty good. This is good enough.
The question is, Wade, I mean,
long run in.
At the time of this recording, it's kind of later in the day, so you didn't wake up super early and you didn't stand in your backyard for 2 hours before you did these runs.
That's what you really need to do in the cold. Like I found a really good cold morning.
Yeah, exactly. I thought about, I had a lot going on with church and had to do some family things, and so I had to get a couple of things done. I thought, I got out a little bit later, but yeah, I started with 51 degrees. I finished right now, I think it's like 31. Got the headlamp on the hat, So it's kind of like dark right now. So it's a little bit like a real dopey or 5K, 10K half marathon because I am in the dark.
Yep.
So, oh man, hopefully it's not this cold. I'll take a little bit warmer when we're down there. Hopefully 5 weeks. I heard you guys said, I go, oh geez.
I know.
5 weeks.
Somebody said a month from today, and I freaked out when I saw it. But it's a month. But I was thinking 4 weeks. I told Pam 4 weeks. I'm like, forget it at this point. Like it's going to be what it is.
That's what it is every year, though.
I've seen some of these real mock dopies, and God bless the folks that are doing those. I kind of liken that to like, I don't like to hit 100 golf balls before I go hit 100 shots in a round of golf.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just hit like 50 shots on the driving range, and then go play.
I agree.
Golf,
I like to get. I just got to get to like a half marathon, maybe 15 miles. That gives me so much confidence going into it. But I like what you did today. Are you planning on doing a longer distance though, or is this going to kind of be it for you?
I'm going to do probably one more just long run, maybe like a 10K and then maybe like a 16 or 17 mile, like a Saturday, Sunday kind of thing, and call it good. And that's probably in 2 weeks. And then,
I like that.
Just kind of taper down, and it is what it is, right? I'm not going to win. So as long as I finish, like you said, Mike, the medal's the same.
Exactly.
Right.
And you get more value if you take your time, right? I mean, you get 6 hours worth of enjoyment. Think about the people that run that sucker in like 2 hours and 30 minutes, man. They hardly see anything. They're not stopping for pictures or meeting any characters, man. They're not having any fun. And they look miserable. I mean, except for they get the cool picture, breaking the tape, whatever. They can have it.
I guess, whatever. It's still probably almost dark when they finish. So, I'd rather finish when it's like, light out and everybody else. I don't know. We'll get it done. It's going to be great, regardless of your training plans. And you got, Scott, you've done it before, so you got it. It'll be fun. And that's why I'm going to look at it. It's going to be fun, and then it's going to be time to rest. Right.
Is it too soon that we all start sending up the prayers for nice weather? Right. I think it's not. Because that can really, I mean, it really does make or break the weekend. I mean, if we have to sacrifice some bad weather Thursday, Friday, I hate to say this for folks doing the 5K and the 10K, because I'm doing, we're all doing it, but God, please give us good weather on Sunday, because you're out there for so long. And if it's going to be a hot one, like there's no way to avoid it because you're going to be out there until 1 o'clock or later in the afternoon sometimes. Let's hope for cool, not cold, but cool on Sunday.
I didn't run it this last one, but the one before, and that's the one they shortened by a couple miles.
So bad.
They cut out Blizzard Beach, and that was so hot. Yeah. I remember finishing, and I think it was 80 degrees when I finished in like, 5.5 hours, something like that. And then they shortened it. I thought it was miserable. They're handing out the sponges, and it was tough. I hope it's not that. I'll take a 50-degree day and get it up to like 68 or something, right? At the end.
I never run in the sun.
So let me ask you guys this. I know, Mike, we're heavy on the running, but I just thought of a question.
Good.
So the medals for marathon weekend are all these like cool, like 90s, like kind of neon thing. I really love it. And a new thing they started, it was at the 25th marathon. They started giving you ears at the end of the full marathon, which like no one knew that was coming. It was an awesome surprise. Do you think they'll do some kind of like 90s, like retro kind of ear set at the end of the race? Because if they do that, like that's going to motivate me even more to make sure I get done with the marathon. But I think that'd be super neat.
What number marathon is this? Is this
30?
Oh, this is a round number marathon?
Yeah, this is why they're doing that like flashback to the 90s, because it's flashback to the first marathon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this is the 30th. It's 30th and 10th Dopey. It's a double anniversary year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 30th, 50th. I don't know. That would be pretty cool if it would be something kind of the kind of the 90s, crazy, maybe lizard color, something, right? Something would be kind of fun. That would be cool if they did do that. I hope it's at not just a 50th, something like that. But that would be really cool. That'd be fun.
You know what though? The first time they busted out those ears, and everyone said the first ones were the best ones. The ones with the silver ears, those are my favorite. Like, because they really pop.
Yeah.
The ones after that they're okay, but they're not as cool looking as and that was the year that they had those for like the year of a million.
No, it was the 60th, and it was the 60th at Disneyland. Those are my ears for the 60th at Disneyland is basically the same as those marathon ears.
But they pop. I mean, those are really cool looking ears. And they were a total surprise when you got to the finish. Like, I don't think anybody knew they were coming. But the thing is, now I think kind of people expect them a little bit, but I love that idea of Mickey ears for the finishing of the full marathon, because I might even like those better than the medals, which I know you need a medal to put on your medal rack and so forth, because that's kind of what you put in your office or, your house, whatever. But you have something tangible, like you can wear in the parks, or like on the airplane. And it's distinctly like Walt Disney World. It's a Mickey Mouse ears that say marathon weekend, full marathon. I mean, I love that. Whoever came up with that idea, I wish we could tell them like that was genius. Like, as a runner, I appreciate that, because it's lightweight, it's easy to wear, it's fun, it looks great in the pictures, and it probably doesn't cost them a ton of money. It's genius. I love the ears for the marathon.
The year I skipped though and came down and cheered, that was like the Team Margarita, where I spent $6,000 on margaritas.
Oh
that year they were red though. That was like so different than any of the other years, and like I kicked myself that I didn't do it that year, because like I would love the red ones, but I think they're going to do something flashy. I think it's going to be kind of neonish to fit in like the theme of the medals this year. I really do, which would be awesome.
Now I got my hopes up.
Sorry, Mike.
So neon would be cool though. That would be really cool. Something different that you can't get, right?
Yeah.
The red ones are cool. I've got the red ones, but neon would be really, because kind of some neon. Yeah, just those 90s colors to match with the medals. That would be really unique. I hope they do that. Let's hope that it's spoken and now it will be done.
What about black and gold? I mean, you got red for Nebraska. You green ones. I mean, you need some green and whites. Yeah.
Maybe that should be a survey they ask you when you register, and then you get like this custom order waiting for you.
No, they got to be uniform. Everybody's got to wear that color,
Okay, yeah.
Let me ask you this way: we haven't caught you since the big news of the Bob swap and all that stuff. So, I mean, I was excited. I mean, I don't get into the politics of all this, but I was excited that I saw a couple days ago or yesterday, I think it was, that Josh D'Amaro and not Chapek,
Bob Iger.
Iger was out at Disneyland, and they were tweeting about the candlelight processional. They were in the park. I mean, that's got to be a start, right? And people were cheering them. I mean, that's positive energy is what I like to see. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think here's the thing. I think that probably like a head coach, they sometimes get blamed, too much for losses. They get too much credit when a team wins. And I think it's always somewhere in the middle, because it's the players that make the plays, and it's not just Bob Chapek or Bob Iger calling all the shots, from everything from, hey, get rid of Magical Express, to more original content on Disney Plus, and what are we doing on ESPN and Hulu. I mean, Disney is such a big, huge corporation that there's board members, and then there's heads of all the departments. So but they're guiding the piece, and I think the stock price has been down, and I think that the morale and some of the things that were said, it was time for a good change, like changing again. We always, all three of us, kind of relate things to sports a little bit. Sometimes you need to change the guy at the top, or the woman at the top, right? In this case, a guy. And so Iger's certainly done it before, and I think for 2 years, it's so much more than the parks. And I think, Mike, you said on one of the recent podcasts, he's not coming in saying, hey, fast passes, hey, no park reservations, hey, Magical Express, hey, those are things that were all in the works when he was still there. And that's kind of the interesting thing too. Genie Plus, an Iger thing. I mean, he was working on that before he turned over the reins to Chapek. So, while we all wish, and we could go, hey, what if we could go back and do this? We're not going back, right? You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube once it's out on things like that are revenue generating, as much as we'd all wish they could change some things. But I think the positive energy, the cast morale, things like that. Now, well, that trickles down to the parks. Certainly it has to, and the resorts. I mean, that's a big part of their business, but it is, it's just a part of the business, right? And it sounds to me like, you know, the streaming services, not just Disney Plus, but the others are the ones that are struggling because you got to have original content. I think Disney's done a great job with original content, especially in the Star Wars realm and some of the new things, Disenchanted, and I can't think of a couple of the other ones, but those things will have to be taken care of, and that's what they're going to do. But being in the parks and being the face of that too, it's a good move. So I'm excited about it. I think the company as a whole just needs a jolt after coming out of everything that we've been through the last couple of years. I've called 2022 the stabilizing year, and now 23 is the year to, you know, to really to get back to you know, growing and all that. So that's my 1 minute soliloquy.
It was well said. There's not much I can disagree with that. I thought that was well said, Wade.
Oh, thanks. I talked to Hugh a little bit about it. He goes, well, you know, you don't really, I mean, yeah, cast members are excited, but they still need to hire people. I mean, there's still jobs that need to be filled at Disney World specifically. And so I think, you know, they continue to grow, and that's a good thing. Mike, you know, the hotel rooms are busy. And certainly travels hasn't died down yet, and they haven't brought back annual passes. That would be my one wish list if I could get to, you know, get Bob's phone number, but they won't give it to me. But
Pam Forrester apparently is meeting with him out at Disneyland this week. So I gave her a list for us all. So we're seeing what we can get done. Seriously, she's out there. She is out there with him. I mean, I'm not kidding. So yeah, I gave her a list.
That's awesome.
Just in case you happen to see him. You know, here's what Mike wants. And annual pass sales was on there. So there you go.
Oh man, so it'll be interesting though. I think it's a good thing in 2 years. You know, I mean, he has a great book. If anybody, I need to reread it, but it came out, I think it was right before he retired the first time, on management and leadership and all that. And he's a leader, you know, and sometimes, you know, that's what you need, whether it's a football team or a worldwide massive company like Disney is. And
it's, you know, I think too, it's just, you know, it's one of those things, right? He could be doing the same things, but I think Iger just knows how to spin it. And Chapek would just do something and just have the most arrogant way to spin the news, right? Like, this is how, you know, he would say, this is how it has to be. And that just rubs people the wrong way where, you know, I mean, Iger has had I mean, if you read his book, there's a part of it, I read it too, where it talks about his, you know, possible aspirations to run for president of the United States, right? He's a politician. So, you know, you got to know how to say the right things to win people over. I mean, that's how you get to be a CEO of a company like Disney is you have to win people over. You gotta lead. You got to get people to buy into your vision. And that's what Iger did. And Chapek, I mean, I don't know how he got up there some way, but I mean, he just seemed like such a jerk.
He just didn't have the image. He didn't have that image that you would want from a leader, you know?
I mean, I know you got to make tough decisions, but you have to have a little level of compassion because you got to have people buy into your vision. And it seemed like he just didn't have that the last couple of years. Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. You know, and I think good football coaches have that too, right? Or baseball coaches or whatever, you know, or I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a guy. There's certainly great leaders that are women too, you know, leading teams and corporations. And you have to have that. You have to have that polish. You have to know when to say. I don't think that anything that Chapek said isn't something that Iger believes or the path they go down as a company. Just the way you said it, you know, or the way you come out, or what you don't say. In Chapek's case, sometimes too, silence can be deafening too. And I think that, you know, Iger is that polished politician, and that's what you need to be. Yep. You're head of a company like Disney. I mean, it's one of the world's biggest companies in more things than just, you know, the Magic Kingdom. This is a massive company employing thousands of people around the world. You got to be polished. You have to be. You've got to be that leader, and he is. And so hopefully, you know, after 2 years, they'll find the next leader. And I feel bad for Chapek. On the other hand, I think he got, like, you know, $40 million or $23 million or something like that. He'll be fine. He's good. Go sit on a beach and count your money. Exactly.
What's crazy is that they don't have anyone in house. Like, I think that's what they need to do right now. You know, they need to groom someone in house. It's just weird that they had to go to Iger. Remember, they had a list, Mike, in way, like back in the day, like Tom Skaggs, I think was one of them. And they had like a couple others that were ready to go, and then boom, they just left, and now they're stuck with no one. So
a
they
lot
had
of
to go back to
companies,
Iger.
a lot of companies suffer from that though. I mean, like you
Yeah.
look at, like I studied Apple and I've read a lot of like Apple, stories. And I mean, Tim Cook came at the right time in the right place, but they've had a lot of people in the C-suite that have gone,
Mhm.
they
They
put
just
them
don't
in
want to wait
roles
anymore. They
haven't
don't want to
flourished,
stick
so-
around. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Wade, great call. Hope you cooled down. And man, 5 weeks we'll all be hanging out, and this will all be. We'll have medals, we'll have ears, and we'll be like, glad that's over.
We will. Exactly. We will have a margarita and a lot of guacamole.
Yeah.
So looking
And
forward.
I'm going to take all 6 on Splash Mountain from one last time.
That's what we're gonna do. All right, Wade,
Let's
you
do
take
it.
care up in Nebraska, man. Thanks for calling in. It's great. Great call. Great call.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. See
See
you.
you, Wade.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
Good call.
Calls rolling in. That was so fun. Oh my God, that was so fun. He's exactly right. Because Wade knows business more than I think you and I. Well, you know more business. I know zero business. I'm an educator at heart. So I love hearing from people that work, because Wade does. He knows. He's connected. Anyway, next call. We have Brooke, I think, in Pennsylvania joining us. Hey, Brooke, what's going on?
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm
Hi,
doing-
Mike and Scotty.
Hey, doing wonderful.
Hey,
Happy
Brooke.
holidays to you.
Yes, you too. I'll keep it marathon focused for just another call, but I'll make it quick. So this is my first Run Disney weekend, and I'm doing the 5K and a half. And I wanted to know if you guys could suggest something to pack that I'm not thinking of for those races.
Long underwear.
Like some things that.
Not kidding. All the warm weather
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not kidding. Like whatever you have at home, bring warm weather stuff. You might like gloves,
Okay.
hats,
Like the hand warmer things are kind
hand
of nice
warmers.
to have.
Yes, those little like little packets that you squeeze and twist and they get hot. I always bring
Mhm.
those. Yeah.
Okay. I'm writing that down.
Yeah, and also here
That's-
another thing. I mean, especially for the half, either
Mhm.
go to Goodwill or go on Amazon and buy Amazon Basic sweats. So, because I do this every year, sweatshirts and sweatpants. This is the cheapest ones they sell. I always get lizard
Mhm.
green because it's the same price. You'll see me. Look at the pictures from the past. You see me in the pictures, and then right before the race starts, I just take them and chuck them, and they donate them to charity. If you just throw them on the side, but I wear them like in
Okay,
the
so
corrals, and
full
man, I'm
outfit
telling
on
you what.
top.
That's the best, like $12 you spend, because like you can wear that for like 2 hours and stay warm in the corrals and while you're waiting around the
Mhm.
parking lot. And then once a race starts, you just chuck it and you're in your, you're ready to roll. So that's what I always have.
Okay.
Marlessa called out the
Really
anti-chafing sticks. I agree with that. That's really important. And for maybe not necessarily for you, but any guys out there, Band-Aids are a must for me. So
I've seen that. Yeah. I've been lucky to
I have
avoid that.
another question. Do people wear like hydration vests or anything like that? Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
usually train with that when I go over like seminary miles.
yeah, I know our good buddy
Oh,
Ben
really?
always
Yeah,
has his hydration vest with him.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Ben, yeah, Ben. I mean, Ben. Yeah, Ben laughing. He is like, if you're ever thirsty, just find Ben. He's got liquids for days.
He's got 100 pounds worth of water in his back.
Mhm. I just feel better if I take a sip of something with electrolytes in it whenever I want, instead of like just out of water stops or something. So
Yeah, and
that's what I'm used to, so I'm afraid to mess with it.
that's exactly right. A lot of people train with some other kind of drink other than, because like I'm not a Powerade fan, and that's what they have, because I think they have because they have the Coca-Cola sponsorship or whatever. So the Powerades are instead of Gatorade. I like Gatorade, but during a marathon I'll drink Powerade, right? Because I'll take anything. But but during the longer races, the tip I have too is if you go to it, I try to alternate each stop: water one stop, Powerade the other, just so you get, like you said, get electrolytes. But I think the smartest thing, because I just don't like to carry anything, but if you're at all worried about that, carry your own stuff and don't change. The biggest thing that people tell me, and I totally believe, is don't change stuff like a week before the race and go out there and try something new. Like don't get new sneakers like 2 days before because you got them for Christmas or something, and you're they're so cute you're gonna save them. Don't do that, because you get out there and 7 miles into your Saturday on the half marathon, you're getting a blister the size of a quarter. Like you just don't want that. Doesn't matter how cute the pictures are. But yeah, I mean, trust, I've been there because I did it with a pair of shoes once.
No, I got new shoes. I started wearing them like a couple weeks ago, but they're the ones I've been wearing for years. They're my favorite, but I just refreshed.
Right. I'm just about to get my pair. I'm probably going to get them and start breaking them in a couple of weeks. But I always get the same model, same pair of the Hokas, and they don't bother me. So I'm pretty good. But
that's what I have.
know.
I have the Hoka ringtone.
Real quick on that.
And they're like neon pink.
Have you noticed that those, I got to get some green. I'm gonna try to find some green ones. But have you noticed like Hoka has gone like mainstream? Like I'm seeing this Dick's Sporting Goods commercial out during all the time on TV for Christmas, and like they're advertising Nikes, some other brand, and Hokas. Like I thought Hokas were just for runners because they're ugly as sin. Like Hokas are ugly shoes, but apparently
I think that their color combinations are getting better.
But
so
they look like moon
that
boots.
might be helping them.
I mean, I love them because they're comfortable, but they're ugly. And I'm like, people buy these that don't.
I know they're weird. Well, this is how I got into it. My last Disney trip, I was wearing sneakers. I brought sneakers with me. Usually, I just wear Birkenstocks when I'm in the parks, but I brought sneakers with me, and I wore them on an FPAC day. And I have wide feet, and I was wearing Adidas that weren't wide, so I was wearing thin socks. So my one foot that's not as wide, I got the worst blister of my entire life that day. And I got home, my mom, and I couldn't walk. My mom's like, try my Hokas. And my mom has them because she needs just extra support and she just has like walking issues. So I tried on these Hokas of hers. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can walk again.
Oh, they're awesome.
And then that was like 2 years ago, and that's it. I've been hooked. So
yeah, I mean,
all I wear.
Don't get me wrong. Hokas are. I have so many pair of tore up Hokas because I run so much. I burn through them pretty quickly. Yeah. But I'm thinking they're selling these like normal people are going to buy these like Nikes, and they're not stylish like a Nike shoe, But I guess you know what? We're all getting older and we don't care. Like everybody just wants to have comfortable feet. We're finally getting smart.
That's the most important thing. Yes.
Yep, I'm over 40 now, so I don't care. I love my Hokas.
Me too.
And like the ones I just got have like neon pink soles. They're really cool.
Yeah, I always go to runners. I think I go to runnerwarehouse.com or something. It's a website, and I just go to the clearance section. They always have a ton of Hokas on there, and I just try to get the pair that's the closeout pair that's as close to like lizard green as they have in my size. That's usually how
I always buy one color that's crazy and one black and white pair.
Yeah,
and that's what I do.
That's a good idea.
That's why I focus on like my facial hair and my face. I want people to look at my face, not my shoes. Like you got to distract them from your feet when you wear the Hokas, right, Mike?
Oh yeah, man. No,
true.
Some people have the.
Well, I'll be smiling the whole weekend, so you'll still see my face.
Yeah. So okay. So what are you most looking for? We talked about the ears and stuff for marathon, the medals for like the half and the 5K. You excited for those retro looking medals? Or are you kind of disappointed that they don't look more traditional? What do you think?
I love them.
Me too.
I love them. The first pair of Hokas I got once I tried my mom's were neon lizard green. Like I just love that. I love actually most of my wardrobe is black and navy. So I've always, since I was in college, I always had crazy colored shoes like my whole life. So I love it, the fact that they're neon and like crazy colors. And I've been running with like a 90s playlist for 6 months now. I'm so excited. And I hope that they have like 90s centric music all weekend.
They better.
Because there's so much good 90s pop, 90s hip hop, like 90s and 90s rock. I mean, 90s music was the best. So I expect 90s music all weekend long. I have my playlist.
We brainstormed this, I think, like a month ago, right? But Belle Biv DeVoe need to be at that last churn singing Into the Road.
Yeah. No. Boys to Men need to.
Boys to Men. Yeah, Boys to Men.
Yeah. That's my time. Like, I guess I was a teenager in the 90s, right? So that's I love all the jams.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so this is your first Run Disney event of all time, like the first weekend?
It is.
Oh, you're doing the big one too. Wait till you see this expo. Holy cow.
Really my favorite, the most excited thing is I'm just excited to meet lizards in person. Because you guys have been inspiring me since before I rejoined Facebook to join you. From hearing all the stories from all the weekends. I liked running for a long time, but I couldn't get over injuries. And I never got past 4 or 5 miles. And literally over the past 10 years. And now I'm really into it. And I really have a lot of you guys to thank. So I'm excited to meet people in person.
I can't remember. Are you doing the mini golf? I can't remember.
What was that?
Are you doing the mini golf on Friday?
I hadn't signed up for it. I don't, is it over? Is it closed?
I mean, I can talk to you offline. There might be some openings. I'll look into it. I'll let you know.
I wasn't sure. I didn't sign up for it because I wasn't sure if I'd be there alone or if family was coming to join me over the weekend part. They would come Friday, but they couldn't do it in the end. So I am going to be solo for the weekend. So if I can join, I would love to.
Yeah, you should totally come then. Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. Hopefully the weather will work out for that.
Yeah, definitely come because that'll be actually, one of the relaxing times we can all kind of get together, meet each other, hang out, talk,
Yeah. And we got some fun, ideas. Neil and I, we have some prizes. We're going to be announcing that on the Facebook group. I have an idea of some video footage I want to do. Like I'm going to make this video of like everyone, like it's going to be awesome. I'm just going to put it out there. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully the weather just works out.
That's awesome. I'll message you on Instagram or something after this to see if there's
Sounds awesome.
And I also emailed Mike, and if you guys, I do have a dining reservation for Olivia's on Thursday night. If any lizards want to join me, because I've never been there either. So if you guys want to join me, I have a huge, I think it's like 8 people.
That sounds good to me.
So it's a big one. I don't think anyone signed up for it on the, whatchamacallit, the Excel page.
Okay.
So if people want to join me for that, because I've never been.
See, I don't even know what my ADRs are because this is my travel agent.
Yeah, we have a bunch planned. I'll have to take
in charge of them. That's why.
I'll have to take a look to see what we have. I'm keep meaning to put them on that Excel spreadsheet too. If others want to like join or make another similar time, so I'll try to do that tonight. And I'll take a look.
Yeah, take a look because it'd be great to meet up with you guys at some point.
So are you going to the expo?
Thanks for all the inspiration.
Real quick, Brooke,
I'll see you in a month.
You going to the
expo? I know
expo?
you keep saying 5 weeks, but
yeah,
I had to pay my final payment today, so it's a month.
That's right. It's all right. Well, hey, we'll talk to you soon. But hey, call us before Marathon Weekend. We have a few more shows before then.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you later. Have a
a
good week.
great night.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
First time doing the Marathon Weekend. Whew, that's gonna be awesome.
I know, man. Go big or go home, right? Marathon Weekend.
Oh, and solo too. So like we'll have to get some cheer squad out there. It's always important to have people cheering that first one.
Totally. We'll have to make sure she gets her shout outs. All right. I think we're going to Connecticut next with Eric. Eric, what's going on? Happy Sunday.
Hey. How you doing? Oh, did I lose you?
No, you're here.
Okay. I'm having some connection problems, so if I drop, just cut me off. First, I heard you sharing about the bowls that you're all in. I want to give a shout out to our Yukon Huskies who made the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Yes.
Was not even aware that was a bowl, but I'm really excited that Yukon actually did something in football.
Yukon wasn't supposed to win hardly. They weren't supposed to win hardly any games this year. And Jim Mora, their head coach, who used to be the coach years ago of the Saints, and I think he coached UCLA for a little bit, really turned that program around this year. And yeah, I mean, big year for the Huskies. I could talk college football all night. I'm just saying, a surprisingly great year for Yukon. So to go to we barely made it to a bowl ourselves, Mizzou, and Sparty didn't make it.
For Yukon in football to achieve anything,
is
just kind of miraculous. We're a basketball.
Yes, totally.
We're not a football school.
Yeah, men's and women's. You don't want to mess with. Yeah, you do not want to play round ball against you guys. Forget it. Nope.
No. Anyway, you were talking earlier about what you want to see, what people want to see now that Chapek's gone and Iger's in. I only have really one thought about that, but I think it's a big thing that Disney's been missing, and that's some kind of consistency. Yeah. By that I mean, I'll tell you what it was like when we were trying to buy our Genie Plus over the past trip planning for our trip coming up in February. At first it was $15 and you pay in advance. So we figured if there's 3 of us, we're going to budget $300 and we'll do it 4 days of our trip. And when we went to buy our tickets, I think one day before they had said you can no longer buy it in advance. You have to buy it the day of.
Yep.
And we're like, well, that's kind of irritating having to wake up and buy it. But you know what? Still $300. That's fine. And then less than a month or 2 later, they said, by the way, it's no longer that. We're using dynamic pricing now.
Yep.
So you're not going to know what the price is until you get here. And all we really wanted to do was buy the add-on. But they kept changing it on us. And this isn't even over one business cycle, they're doing it this way, and then they lead a full business cycle to do it another way. This is all within 6 months or even less, I think.
I think it's less than
And
that. Yeah.
I began to feel frustration that people like out west were saying that they were having trying to buy annual passes when it was time to re-up the annual pass, and they said, we're going to re-up it on this day, we're going to do it on this day, no, we're going to do it now. Or how looking into it, like Disney Plus shows will suddenly appear on regular, Disney Channel. If you want to run a business and have people come and have a good experience, they have to know what they're going to be paying and what they're going to be getting. And Disney hasn't been able to do that. And that's all they really need to do, the right to ship at least a little bit. Say this is going to be opening in this year and stick to it. Say this is the price that you're going to pay and stick to it.
I 100% agree with what you're saying. And here's a good example of that. So say a decade ago when I was, I wasn't a full-time travel agent, I was just dabbling kind of in it. The podcast had just started. I was more a fan than kind of doing it as a living. And the thing that I really liked about going to Walt Disney World was it was almost like a cruise at that point. It was almost all inclusive because I would buy my tickets. I'm talking even before Magic Your Way tickets, even back to the Ultimate Park Hopper days, where I would book a hotel for 7 nights. And usually you would get a 7-day ticket or whatever, equivalent to the amount of length of your stay. You could use it for anything. You could park hop. You could go to Disney Quest. You could go to the water parks. You could do whatever you wanted. So you stayed at the hotel. You had your theme park tickets. We would add on a Disney dining plan. So that basically our meals were paid for. I mean, we get a couple extra snacks here and there, but I mean, we got a snack every day. You got dessert with your meal. So really you didn't even need to buy that many more snacks. I knew when I made final payment, 90% of my vacation was done 30 minutes ahead of time or 30 days ahead of time. I knew what I was paying and I would be I don't know how everybody else would feel about this, but if they have to build in the price of Genie Plus or some kind of like a, get around the tickets kind of thing, instead of making you pay for it every morning, per person, per day, blah, 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 build it into the package price, and I know they did that before June 8th when they announced the 2023 packages, but that's just smarter. I think a lot of people like inclusivity. That's one of the big things about cruising.
Right.
You buy your cruise and then you get on the ship and everything's paid for, really.
And I understand.
I love that.
I understand the idea of doing dynamic pricing. Cruises cost different depending on the time of year. I understand theme park tickets or hotels costing a little different depending on the time of year. But it's almost gone to the part like, imagine driving up to Starbucks and having to pay $2.99 if it's between 7 and 8, but then between 8 and 9 because they have a long line, it's now $5.99 for your coffee. I kind of feel like that's where it began to go. You don't know what the price of these things is going to be on a day-to-day basis, or even what you're getting in part of your package.
That's a good analogy. Here's the thing too. When I think about this, so let me get Scott in here too, because I don't get his thoughts, but here's the thing. When they went back to the Disney dining plan, or when they went back to the Ultimate Park Hopper days where the ticket was built into your nights of your stay at your resort, here's the thing. You were not getting this for free. When you bought your Disney dining plan, you were still paying for all those meals. You were just paying for them up front. And here's the thing. I guarantee you there were many times, now it wasn't with me because I was smart, but I guarantee you, there was that thing about a month ago about like the family from Kansas or whatever. The family from Kansas probably left, sit down table service credits unused, and Disney comes out way ahead, or snacks, or, they only went to the parks 5 days, but they paid for a 7-day ticket. Like that. It just seems like they would come out. If you look at the law of averages with something like this, if you build it into the overall price of the vacation, you pay for it up front, and then you just get these add-ons, these amenities. It seems like they would come out ahead because not everybody's going to max out the amenity use. Scott, I mean, where do you fall on this? Because Eric's making great points. That Starbucks analogy's spot on.
I agree 100% with it. Like, I think back to my early trips when we took our first trip, like in 2011, then 2012. Like, I don't think I would still be as crazy as a Disney fan if they didn't make it that easy for me back then. Like, I could just reserve a room and have my tickets and park hoppers added. That's back when the dining plan was around. Like, I could just pay for this all up front, and that just made my vacation so much easier. I had Magical Express, and now, like, if I was like, flashback 10 years younger and we're taking our first trip now, like, I don't know if I would like get as much enjoyment out of it because they made it just that much easier to book a trip and just not worry about anything else when you got there. And now it's like, yeah, like Eric's saying, oh man, I got to wake up at 7 a.m. to do this. I don't know how much at the budget for. It's kind of stressful now. And like, I want to go back to those stress-free days where everything was kind of built in if you wanted it early on, way before your trip.
It's not so much the dynamic pricing. It's the knowing what you're going to be paying or how much things are going to be before you get there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, because, and I know some industries have dynamic pricing, and dynamic pricing does make sense in some instances, but think about it. Your theme park tickets cost a different price every single day at Walt Disney World. If you look at the schedule, because when I'm buying tickets for somebody, I got to ask them, what's going to be your first day of use? Because that's going to determine how much the ticket is. Is it going to be first use on a Tuesday, January 11th? Well, that's probably going to be cheaper than if your first day of use is on, Saturday, July 4th. That's going to be a big difference. But you're right. You don't want to be surprised during your vacation.
People are slowly turning on the dynamic pricing model overall. I don't know if you follow concerts, but you saw what happened with Taylor Swift.
Right.
Not only the fact that everything crashed, but also that the dynamic pricing was minute per minute. And because it was minute per minute, tickets ended up going for $5,000, $10,000. And these weren't like the front row tickets. These were like way in the back. Or Bruce Springsteen had the same type of situation during his tour where he's playing a few smaller venues and not the stadiums. These $500 tickets will go on sale. We'll say $500 tickets, and by the time it got to checkout, it would be $600-$700, and not because of Ticketmaster add-ons. It's because, the demand suddenly went up in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's supply and demand, but it's like on steroids, right? I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, the thing is, things have to be reasonable, and Disney's always going to come out ahead, right? It's a premium brand. You know when you go there. I mean, Scott knows when he goes there. We pay because, I mean, okay, say Pop Century's hotel room is in St. Louis, Missouri, or it's in Lansing, Michigan, or it's in wherever you're in Connecticut. That hotel room is not worth $239 a night. You know what? We pay it because it's at Walt Disney World, because it's got all these other. You feel like you're in the bubble. You can go get tie-dyed cheesecake. You can hop on a bus and go to the Magic Kingdom or go to Epcot. We pay that because we know it's a premium, and it's because of the whole package. But the thing, you got to give people. Disney's always going to come out ahead because people are going to do that. But I think what they're doing right now, I mean, this is just my opinion. They've got so many of us invested so hard. We love the brand so hard. They know they've got us hooked, and they do. I mean, but Apple is the same way, right? I buy a new iPhone about every 3 years, and I could buy an Android phone that's probably half the price. That probably does 95% of the same stuff. But I like Apple stuff because I got a watch, and I got an iPad, and I got a MacBook, and it all works together.
But Apple makes it easy for you. You press the button and it's all synced up.
Exactly. But I mean, Disney's is kind of Disney's making it harder. They're going the opposite direction, but they have the magic. The perceived.
I still
magic.
think they're a good value.
Right.
I still think they're a good time. Part of that might be, the fact that I'm just a Disney person.
Me too.
But I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was a good value. But hopefully that they'll right this ship, and instead of increasing prices every 6 months, they'll go back to the once a year, and it's going to be about 5 to 10%.
It's got to be reasonable.
And they'll go back to saying, here's your price.
Right.
That's my big hope. That's my only hope, really, because I know there's a lot to do there.
Well, the first step is like you got to recognize it, right? And they recognized something isn't right. We saw that news 2 weeks ago tonight as we're recording that Disney made unprecedented move, and it's all of a sudden, we got to make this change at the top. Just boom, all of a sudden. And so that's step one. I mean, there's obviously a problem that they have recognized. So now you got to, I think, they got to look at this and kind of, if I was Iger, I'd just look at every head of, departments and say, okay, what can we do better? But the theme parks are cash cows. They're going to be the bottom of the heap.
If you look at it though, and I know this isn't because Iger's there. He didn't do this in just a few, a few weeks, but we now have a date for the Splash Mountain closing saying, yes, we are doing this. We now have a rough date for the opening of Tron after so long. We now have seen steady progress on the crater in Epcot. They have to stop blowing past the deadlines that they make for themselves and saying, what are you going to do?
Yeah, accountability. Totally. I mean, every company
and consistency.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
Schools got to have it. You know, the small businesses got to have accountability. But you got to respect your patrons, right? You got to respect every single guest. You got to hear your guests, and you have to at least meet your guests' expectations. But a good company, and Disney this is what Disney's known for, to exceed your guests' expectations. You know, like with the Magic for Less. I'll give you an example. We're required to get back to our guests within 24 hours. If they have any kind of an issue, you know, or anything comes up, we got to get back to it within 12 hours. You know, I try to do that within 2 or 3, because the thing is, like, you're a Disney fan, right? You expect you get excited when your expectations are exceeded. And so I figure you're a Disney fan, you like that magic. So I try to treat my little part of the Magic for Less as though I'm a Disney cast member, as though I want to exceed your expectations every time. You know, and I don't always meet that. You know, sometimes I'm at Taco Bell, sometimes I'm at a football game, but I do what I can when I can, as best I can. And I think that's what Disney does. And I think we're getting back to it. I think it's a good step. But Eric, you bring up a great point, and I love that we can have these conversations once a week. And I appreciate you giving the call, and yeah, great conversation.
Eric, I would just say, watch out for Mike though when Taco Bell has their 20% increase on Mondays between 6 and 7 now, because they know that's when the podcasters like to go to Taco Bell.
They're going to hit me up because they're going to be like, man, high demand podcast night.
It's one of those times when you used to live stream your trips after Taco Bell.
I did, and
you're going to see there, and we're going to see on the screen, you know, the value meal for 2 tacos. $2.99, it pops up to $4 because they know you're right there.
Yep, exactly.
Sucker's coming. Look out. Those tacos,
we've got Mike. He's gonna pay.
Those chili cheese.
He's gonna pay. Like, I mean, they might be able to like triple the price. He's that dedicated.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm like an addict. I gotta have it.
All right. Then all of a sudden, Mike starts sending like one of Mallory's friends, like as a runner, like, all right, just here's my order. Like, they're not gonna charge you like $18 for this.
I mobile ordered it. Just go to the door, tap 3 times. Eric, appreciate the call, buddy. You have a good week, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
All right, see you. All right, well, hey, that's another fun night of Disney Talk. I love these shows because you don't know where it's going to go. We talked running, we talked the C-suite, we talked, you know, space. They're not messing with space, hopefully, right now. Splash Mountain changes. It's you know, it's an exciting time to be a Disney fan. We got lots to talk about.
Yeah. This is that's why I like the Sunday shows, like the listener question shows on Wednesdays and this show. I mean, they're all great episodes. You know, they all have like their own like strong points, like the trip reports and such. But these two are some of my favorites because you never know where the conversation is going to go. I love it.
I love it because I grew up on AM radio, and this is as close as you can get to. Like, this is so old school. You know, I love it though, because literally, if you listen to our podcast, you can be a part of the show every week if you want to be. You just got to pick it. Let's face it, everybody's got their cell phone in their hand all the time. All you got to do is give us a call on Sunday night. Just join us and let your voice be heard. And we could answer questions. We could talk about your trip, whatever you want to do. But it's so fun just to be able to talk to folks all around the world. But we've got another fun week of podcasting coming your way. Scott's going to be on the shows this week because Pam is out at Disneyland. She's doing some work for the Magic for Less. No kidding. I wasn't joking. She's out there. Big meetings, big to-dos. I don't know if it has anything to do with the big news at the top, but I mean, it can't. I mean, they are doing meetings and they're getting feedback. They're giving feedback to Disney with guest stuff that, we tell as travel agents, we tell Pam what our guests are saying about their trips. And then Pam compiles, because we have tons of guests every week, every day, every year. And she compiles all that information, then takes that information to Disney. And then a lot of other agency owners do the same. And I think that's because, think about it, that's a lot of guests. And Disney, listens. They sit down and they have brainstorming sessions. Like, what can we do to help your guests? And so we'll see what comes of that. So Pam's out there, and she, of course, it's not all work. I'm sure she's going to be posting some pictures of like Trader Sam's. She's going to be making me so. God, I love Disneyland.
I don't want to be at Trader Sam's so bad right now. Disneyland Christmas time too.
That's what I was just thinking.
I'm getting all these memories because we like to do a lot of Thanksgiving trips, and our first trip to Disneyland was over Thanksgiving / that week where it all turns to Christmas. And man, like just seeing those photos pop up makes me really want to go back there, maybe even next year for Thanksgiving and do Christmas out there.
I got to get out there for Christmas because yeah, I mean, because I fell in love with it this summer. Like, it could not have been better.
Just think of like Radiator Springs, like with all like the Christmas decorations, like, oh, so good.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Oh man. So Pam's on it. But we're gonna have a good time this week with the shows. Of course, listener questions coming your way on Wednesday. We got a great trip report hitting the feed in about an hour as you're listening live. That's going to be a fun one. And of course, Friday, I have some ideas for Friday's show. We'll have a good time. Ricky will be joining us for Wednesday and Friday shows. We're excited because Ricky finally, this is Inside Baseball. Ricky finally got a new computer. Now, you guys probably don't notice this, but every week before we record the podcast, Ricky normally has to reboot this computer. It's a step above a Commodore 64 is what she used to have. This thing was brutal. And I used to have to get on her about this stupid computer. And I know we don't always go buy new computers, but she finally got a new laptop this week. So hopefully I'm praying that everything's set up right, that it works, but it should be so much better. So I've never been so excited.
It's funny. Like, I got a new laptop and it lags, like the video lags, like it's a brand new laptop. So I actually record.
I'm not going to sleep.
I actually record on an older one when I record the show with you because like the video isn't as good, but it doesn't lag as much. So like it's so weird, but yes, they'll be good. I'm sending good vibes to Ricky
We'll find out tomorrow. I'll probably be yelling again.
Because I do not want to be in the middle of that between the two of you.
Because I'm always hungry and I always want to get the podcast going so that I can eat when we're done. Because like everybody else like hangs up, hey, have a good week, everybody. Then I got to edit 2 shows before I eat dinner. So I'm like, okay, let's get this show on the road. I love doing the shows, but I don't like editing after because I want to eat dinner. But anyway,
but if it's Inside Baseball, maybe Taco Bell won't have the surge pricing.
That's right. That's totally right. Yeah, I'll miss it. They'll be like, well, I guess he's not coming tonight. Taco's down to 79 cents.
Exactly. We're gonna go back to the 90s, and the decor is gonna change to that blue and white or whatever.
Yes, that pink color, that purpley. Yeah, looked like our old skating. Looked like spinning wheels roller rink. Everybody.
That's what the marathon eaters are going to look like. It's like an old Taco Bell restaurant.
Yes. Hey, I have no problem with that. Jessica's asking when we find out who the Christmas cards get sent out. Ricky is working. She said she's working on that this weekend. So just watch from an email from Ricky. I think the ornament exchange went out this weekend because I got
mine
out
today.
Yeah. So I'm not telling you who mine's going to, but I know who I'm sending mine to.
I got 2 of them.
Yeah. Ornament exchange is happening, so watch for the email from Ricky if you're doing the card exchange. And so we are going to get out of here. We'll have some details about the mini golf for the Lizards this week on the show, so tune in for those as well. So Scotty G, thanks for joining me. A lot of fun and big week of podcasting. So make sure you sleep fast tonight.
I will. I'm ready. I was born for this, Mike.
All right. That's right. This is always so much fun. All right. Don't forget themagicforless.com. If you want to book a great Disney vacation for no additional cost to you, I'd love to help you plan that trip. And it really helps support everything we do over at themagicforless.com. Also use our Amazon affiliate link as you shop this holiday season. That one extra click supports everything we do. Even if you're buying crazy stuff like this little on-air light, you can buy anything on Amazon, and it does support us. So again, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of our show. You're the super fans. You are Club BOGP. You make it happen. You get the bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest as well, usually on a Tuesday. If you'd like to join us and get that bonus podcast, come on over patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give Sparty a follow over there at Epscott, EPSCOT on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike, and would love to talk to you this week over there. So Instagram and Twitter as well. And of course, subscribe to the show on Facebook and YouTube, and you can join us this coming Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, and you can give us a call. We can talk Disney and have a good time. Next week might not be a lot of football because I think the only college games at Army Navy, and I mean, we got NFL, but it'll be a little light on the college football for the next few weeks.
So we used to see the Army Navy game together because that's when the St. Louis hot chocolate was. I remember we saw it a couple of years in a row together.
Yep. We saw it at Ballpark Village.
Yep.
Somebody we knew took a mug.
I got a couple of them.
I was gonna say, I'm just saying. I think the statute of limitations ran out of that. So anyway, we are gonna get out of here, and we'll be back again this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But thanks for hanging out with us. We love it when you support our show. We have so much fun doing these podcasts. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great week, a great Sunday night, or a great Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty. That was fun.
That was fun. Good episode.
That was good.
And your Rams lost during that too.
I know. I was watching up on the TV. I was like, dude, they won it. They lost at the very end. I was like, yes.
Yeah. And the Spartans are down by 1 to Northwestern. What is
You're
happening?
losing to Northwestern.
We're banged up. Like our top 2 guys have been hurt though. So
You can't lose to Northwestern though.
yeah, especially at the Breslin. Maybe I should go. Maybe I should go buy a ticket and just go to the game for the
You're
second.
that
half.
close, dude. That is unreal that you could do that.
Dude, I could probably make it before the second half starts.
You think?
Yeah, I could.
How far are you from the like? if
3.
you
I'm
really
like 3
wanted
miles
to-
away. I'm 3 miles away.
You could get to the how fast could you get inside the state? Like inside.
See the parking would be the hardest part. Like
Yeah.
I'd probably have to park at the football stadium, and then it'd be a little bit of a hike to Breslin, but not too bad. The thing is, like, if I could get a bus, so we have a great like CATA, like it's called the CATA bus, the Capital Area Transit Authority, whatever. And there's a bus stop close to where I live. I can get to the bus and then take a bus that stops right at the Breslin. That'd be even better. But
Man, that's like the dream, dude. If I lived in Columbia, that'd be so awesome. I'd love to
Yeah.
go to all the stuff, but here I am.
I know. It's just I throw my dollars elsewhere now.
I
I
know.
can't do like Disney and like be all in on like all
But it's
this
one of
stuff.
those things, right? When something's in your backyard, you never take advantage of it.
I
You
know,
like
yeah.
it's like we get stuff here, like, oh, you
Yeah.
go. No, I never do.
Like my buddy who lives in Iowa still has the season tickets. And like here I am and I don't. It's just kind of funny.
We got season tickets to University of Illinois Chicago. Still haven't gone to a game yet. We're waiting for the regular season. I got to go see my cardboard cutout, which doesn't exist. Which I told Paige.
That's
I'm
funny.
taking my season ticket back if I don't get a cardboard.
See, we should
cutout.
do that. We should go to see the game and go see Chicago at Christmas time. That'd be kind of
Oh,
fun.
dude, yeah, I'll let you know when because we're gonna go because they play Thursdays and Sundays,
Yeah,
so we're gonna go up for like a weekend,
yeah.
and I'll let you know because dude, we'll get you free tickets, dude.
I mean,
know
Chicago-
the Jobo.
3 hours from here, I love going to Chicago. So
Oh yeah, totally. We totally need to do that because I don't know if it'd be before Christmas though because they only have a couple more games because like
they go on break.
Yeah, because they have a break. Because they only have one more game. They play Northwestern, and that's it. And then they play Southeast Missouri State, but that's in Cape. That's in
Yeah.
Missouri. Because then she comes home after that for Christmas.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, we'll meet up. We can still go to Chicago and do stuff though.
Yeah,
That'd be fun. That's a
fun
good
to
idea.
go.
All right, I will talk to you. So you're in for tomorrow, right?
Yep. I'll be here before Ricky is. So
Yeah.
whenever Ricky gets here, I'll
We'll
be
wait
ready.
for Ricky. I don't want to fight that.
Don't get in trouble. I know. I love doing those 4:30 listener question shows.
Me too, but I'm not. I love that, but I'm not even poking the bear. So
Awesome. I know it's just
I
nice
want
to
to
like
be
at least it's nice to like start a podcast before it's dark. Is all I'm saying.
I know, dude. I love it. I love it. Actually, next week we'll have to because Mallory's starting basketball, but she doesn't start this week. So
Okay.
anyway,
Well,
all right.
Ricky's
We'll have a
on
good
that.
one and go get some dinner.